Howdy everyone, it's been a minute. First things first, I'd like to thank each and every last one of you for tuning on and stopping on by to another episode. Welcome, it's your boy JJ. We're right now going to be building a premium deck profile, a deck log, deck submission. It's going to be Nova Grappler, some Victor. It's a deck that I'm relatively familiar with. I'm going to be doing something a little bit quirky, a little bit different right now. Before we head to the main deck, we're going to actually start with the G-Zone. Anarchy. It's going to be wild. So first things first, for the G-Zone, as I would possibly play it, we are going to start with the G-Guards first, since those are your defensive strategies. I do want to run a couple copies of Dokkan Titan, one copy of Gun Greed. Are we going to run any of the new G-Guards? Possibly. Yes. We're possibly going to be running. Any Prison in Victor? No. You could make it run. If you want to cut a couple of the cards that are going to be running in the list, you can cut a couple of it. Because Order Colony is no longer... not really that consistent anymore, but Mega Colony is still prevalent, and that's still a very annoying archetype to play against for any deck. So you could make the concession and be okay with it. We are going to be getting into a meta that more Narukami is going to be a bit more important, so we'll try to cater our deck towards that list. So as follows. Here, we're going to be running 1 to 2 copies of Bustard. We're going to do one for now. We're going to run 1 copy of Winning Champ. Junior is up for debate, so we'll just put one in for now of him. The new G-Guard, we'll probably come back to that a bit later. Then run 1 copy of Winning Champ. I don't know if we're running any of the Progenitor Dragon, because that's not as important as it used to be anymore. Again, Order Colony, not that important. You kind of used to have to run 1 copy of it into that matchup because not being able to rewrite sucks balls. But it's not that important, so you could probably forego ever running any of these at all. That's fine. Let's see, anything else? Obviously, the GB8 is very important. GB8 is one of our best win conditions. You could run a couple copies of Meteor Kaiser Victor. I usually run 2. It's not a staple. These are all suggestions, so you can do whatever you will with it. I used to run a couple of copies of Tribute, a couple of copies of Victor Plasma. I do believe that Victor Plasma might be making a comeback because it is very tough to deal with a lot of your opponent's removal, and just getting a good refresh of your hand is pretty decent. Also, Dismal could come back again because you will have some issues of some of your pieces being attacked a lot, and you might want to protect it a little bit with some of your effects. So now we have 13 slots left. We're going to actually have to add a card in our main deck, and let's go with a starter here. Let me see for a second. Or Trigger. Or Trigger is fine too. We'll just put in 4 copies of this for now, and just confirm here. Let's see. How much G-Guards do we have in here? Let's see. 3, 4, 5. You can go up to 6 if you want to, but I can get kind of dicey. As the bulk is also kind of nice too as well, because we do have Susanna now, and that's going to be something really good to look forward to. Yes, so we can run 1 copy of that. Let me see if I have my G-Zone somewhere here that I can kind of pull up as a reference. Because sometimes I do forget some things, obviously. Let's see. 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. Do we run the new Stride, the one that gives you a bit of a restand here? I don't like its card. It's cute. It's cute. Like, it's for the off chance that, hey, I hit a OT and I can restand like a couple of my rear guards a couple times and I have the CB that's open and free for it. You could get away with it. A card that could also see some comeback to as well is Sabreeze. Sabreeze is also not the worst card to play here in this angle, since it is a flip fodder more or less, and it does allow you to, if your opponent doesn't want to ride, you could punish them. But Victor himself as a grade 3 also has a pretty decent grade 3 turn, so you don't really need it, especially if you're running like a lot of non-GB reliant cards. So you do have like a lot of space freed up. You could run the Zero's Dragon if you want to. You could run the Progenitor Dragon if you want to in these slots, or you could run extra copies of Winning Champ, Bustard, just anything really, to be honest. So I'll leave these 2 slots open. This is completely up to you. This is of your own design. You can run more G-Guards to facilitate extra slots that you might need, since this deck can easily like draw into stuff that they'll need, but you need to be very careful since you can only have 4 G-Guards face up. If you have, you know, a couple G-Guards face up or more, it'll hurt a lot. It'll hurt. It'll hurt so much. And so I do recommend running other cards that can maybe flip themselves up or be flipped up by extra added effects. I do still recommend running a Progenitor Dragon, maybe even a Zeroth even, which can be kind of nice into Narukami. Let's go over to the main deck for now, and then if I get sparked with something, I'll let you know. So let's go with Extreme. So this is Extreme Focus deck. Extreme Batura. So running 4 copies of Victor. You could possibly run more grade 3s now. If you want to. I don't want to. Then we're running 4 copies of Golsachi. We're running Stride Fodder since we're running a very low grade 3 count. I think we're running like only 8 grade 3s or so. We're going to be running 3 copies of Gunsden because that's kind of important here. 4 copies of Jarrahawk. You could, you know, touch it down to 3 if you want to. Let's see here. I was running 4 copies of Gun, but you can always bring that down as well. We are not running the V Collection out of cheat, even though it does end up going for regular grade 3 for you. You could run it if you still want to. It is also a 18k beat stick on an XL marker, so up to you whether or not you want it. But I kind of just want to go for cards that I know that I'll be able to go off and pop off with whenever I want to. Sazanda, I don't know how many copies of Sazanda that I want to run yet. I am gonna go for 2 to 3 for now. Like 3 copies of Sazanda, 3 copies of Dosledge at the moment. I think this is what we're gonna go with. I do also have Cool Hank. I think this is enough for the main deck cards. I don't think there's any other Extreme Battler cards that we might be considering. Oh, there is possibility of Catchywall. I'll pull 4 copies for it in there right now, because since we are getting Sazanda, our rates of hitting our Extreme Battler cards are a lot higher. So we do get to like get out pieces out of our deck that we do need, which is really good that Sazanda provides and Victor provide. So them building our board for us kind of for free is very nice. It's very, very, very welcome as a good feature here for us. Let's see here. Cool Hank.
We with them damn near every day. We outside.
Again, we'll put in 4 copies of it for now until we find out something that works for us. And then we can go over to grade 1s. Grade 1s. We used to run the Beast Deity stuff, like the Beast Deity Scarlet Firebird and starter and White Tiger. You could still run this if you want to, but, and that's a big but, a very big but, I would only run this combination if you play Brutal Jack. Brutal Jack still works with this, especially if you're still not playing like a Mega Colony matchup. You can still feed into each other, but you could cut this out. You could cut these out depending on the format and the people that you're playing against. So those can be something else entirely. Those can be like ninjards, just basically anything, to be honest, right? But these are the grade 2s that we're going to be currently running as how we feel it can be ran here. Then we head over to the triggers. But then now the starter doesn't really matter, but I'd still hold on to the combination of Firebirds and Scarlet Birds and Beast Deity White Tigers in case Mega Colony is still not gone. You still might be able to meet it up. Alright, and let's go a little further here. I think that was it for grade 1s. I don't think there was any other grade 1s we really wanted to add. Like, we used to play stuff like Riser Custom in here too, because that was actual restand that would proc our Buster turn, so then we'd get extra drive check off of it. But that's not really, it's not really been that important for us this time around. And you can also like get Catch-A-Wall now. So you can add Catch-A-Wall to the deck. I used to run more crits, but I want to try stands again, but instead of stuff like Energy Girl, I think I want to do Catch-A-Wall because it draws us a card. And drawing cards in our deck is like relatively important, especially into like a lot of very annoying matchups. And a lot of decks that were like inhibited and gatekept by Order Colony is going to be very, very much like in at the moment. And we're going to probably be talking about that in a future video. That's my hope. J Cool, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciate, much appreciate. Hopefully you're doing good today. Let's see. So our grade 1s, 15, grade 2s, 14, and then grade 3s. If anything, we can cut down on like units if we need to. Let's go with triggers this time. Of course, we have to find our over triggers or draw triggers. With the base takes, I see. Like Prison Victor couldn't make a comeback. You could probably play Prison in this deck now again, if you want to. I just don't like it. I think it's like, it bricks too hard, and if you're focused on that as a win condition, I feel then Victor, I don't know. I don't like playing Victor that way. I feel like it's very boring. I kind of just like me beating my opponent to death with just very cool multi-attacks, rather than just like, oh, I need to dig to my OT, and if I don't hit it, I lose. I mean, it's fine. Have you seen the image I sent you in DMs? Really? I'll take a look in a second. I'll take a look in a minute. Like, it's super boring if you just focus on that as a win condition. I don't know. It's just not my vibe. I don't like it. You could just join the Sura Kaiser gang. Yeah, that deck can do the 100 million push if they want to. Yeah, sure, go for it. But I don't like that as a principle out of Victor, to be honest. I don't know. It irks me a bit. It does not wet my whistle. Alright, so now we'll try to find Heal Guardians. Ayo, let's go. So around 51 cards. Alright, so we gotta cut one. What is cuttable from in here? What is cuttable? Let's take a look at the... Oh yeah, we can cut a Catch-A-Wall then. Boom. Easy. Fixed. Nice. Cool. So you could run 3 stand triggers. And you could even cut that down to like 2 if you want to, but 3 is fine. You can also cut down a... Wow, I guess you can't even cut down a draw trigger, because then you need to supplement that with a PG in your main deck or something. I guess you could always like take out these draw PGs and turn them into like grade 1 PGs and have these be extra crits or something. I guess that's also fine too as well. You could also trim down any of the Dose Sledge and Sazanda stuff. I do like 4 cool hacks in 4 Gosachis, but if you feel that you really need to see Dose Sledge and Sazanda, you can also cut down the Gambara guns to like 3 or so, and then run extra copies of like Dose Sledge and Sazanda, so that you hit your pieces that you need. I'm only running it this way is because I really need to stride consistently, and I'm very scared of Dragon Empire clans. I really am scared of like stuff that will retire my stuff. It makes me nervous. I don't like my cards being touched. Especially when I play Victor. I hate it. Don't touch my cards. Don't touch my cards. I look completely high there, man. I look so faded. Oh no. I saw the image. Thank you so much, Mash. Jesus. And then for the rest of the G zone, the rest 2 cards is entirely up to you. You're running 2 Cool Hand right now? 2? Ooh, really? God damn. It was not a look. I looked so stoned there. 2 Cool Hand, brother. God damn. Okay. I mean, that's fair if you want to. Sure, I mean, it's not searchable, but the reason we run it at 4 is because we want to have it, right? Like you're digging through your deck to get your restand targets. So these, you want them to restand as the Zondas and this. I do see a place of maybe playing as the bulks. Playing as the bulks is also fine as well, because you get like 8 attacks. You get potentially 8 or 9 attacks off of this if you have enough XL markers. For as much more XL markers you get way more front row attacks. This gets big, but this doesn't matter if this gets big. I would have loved if this and your units got 5k. Not for every card that restood, but just like everything just get 5k when it restood, which would be kind of nifty, but that'd be probably a bit too overpowered, wouldn't it? It's still in testing? Ah, okay, nice. But with that being said, that's the end of this YouTube video. Thank you all for tuning in and stopping on by. If you guys don't agree with any of this, that's fine. It's Vanguard. You can build whatever you want to. I am just a guy behind a screen. Alright? I'm not Bababook. I'm not the Babadook. I'm just a guy behind the screen, just playing a card game that we all love. And hopefully we can play it for years to come. Just let me know what you guys thought of the restriction list. Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for the 500 subs. Much appreciated. Till next time. Where's Best Boy Shout? I swear to God, Spectral, I'm a tying you out. Guy behind the screen who also has a kitchen for a desk. Hey, just because I have salt, hot pepper, yogurt, condensed milk, and cookies behind my desk does not mean I'm a kitchen or shop or pantry. I just so happen to like food, bro. All right.